Horowitz will grip you with suspense, daring, chic, and that's just the beginning. Prepare for action scenes as fast as a movie, says the Times. Many high schools have made it mandatory to read the novel Brave New World by Aldous Huxley in the 11th grade. However, this novel is not the most beneficial book to be read, because the novel Stormbreaker by Anthony Horowitz has a more interesting plot, more compelling characters, it is a lot easier to understand, and has a very entertaining movie. To begin, the novel Stormbreaker has a better plot when speaking comparatively to the plot of Brave New World. Aristotle's first characteristic of a good plot is that the plot must be a whole with a beginning, middle, and an end. In the novel Stormbreaker, all the segments of the plot are clear, from the rising action when Alex is recruited by the spy agency and is working in the evil Mr. Sale's factory, to the climax when Alex breaks into the museum and shoots the button that would have activated all the Stormbreakers, and to the following action when Mr. Sale is shot by Yasin Gregorovich. Furthermore, the second characteristic of a good plot is that the plot must be complete, having unity of action. All the segments of the plot in Stormbreaker have a flow and never feels choppy in any way, and one event always leads to the next event. For example, since the main character Alex's uncle dies, he is recruited into the spy program which his uncle had obliviously trained him for all of his life. This is why Stormbreaker has a good plot and why it should replace Brave New World as the grade 11 novel. Moreover, the novel Stormbreaker has more relatable and interesting characters when speaking comparatively to the characters in the novel Brave New World. Characters in the novel Stormbreaker are very original and are like nothing you've ever seen before. For example, one character that exemplifies this would be the second antagonist, Mr. Grin. Mr. Grin is described as a man with ginger hair, a very pale face, almost white. He has two horrendous scars, one on each side of his mouth. That's because he used to throw knives up into the air and catch them between his teeth, until one day, in one of his performances, he got distracted. The knife went right through his teeth and cut his tongue into pieces. As a result, he can't speak. Isn't that awesome? This is what makes this character very interesting and quite unique. On the contrary, in the novel Brave New World, the characters are mostly boring with very few exceptions. Characters such as John are a little bit fascinating, but that's about it. In the novel, a lot of characters were too scared to look at the problems in their lives and fix them. All they wanted to do was take some soma and then proceed to have sex. Even that was done with helmets on. Doesn't that seem a bit boring to you? This is why Stormbreaker has more relatable and interesting characters, and why I should replace Brave New World as the grade 11 novel. As well as, the novel Stormbreaker is a lot easier to understand, when comparatively speaking to the language of Brave New World. If we were to skip down to chapter 3 of Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, we could find the perfect example of language that is very hard to understand. This is because the author tried to skip between 3 different conversations at the same time. In the beginning, randomly changing, to the end of the chapter when he was changing every single line. It is very confusing when an author tries to write like this. In contrast, in the novel Stormbreaker, we have no lines that are confusing, random, or anything like that. Everything is straightforward and easy to understand. One thing that they made to make understanding a piece of cake was the use of images and small pictures to help the visual learners, like these right here. Another improvement that they did was the use of fonts that are slightly bigger than the one in Brave New World. This helped readers not feel like the pages are visually too busy with writing. This is why Stormbreaker is a lot easier to understand, and why I should replace Brave New World as the grade 11 novel. Finally, the novel Stormbreaker has a very good movie, when comparatively speaking to the movie of Brave New World. The movie for Stormbreaker is very entertaining and has minimal change in plot when it comes to the plot and overall characters. There are some minor changes to enhance the excitement of the movie, but no difference in the plot or story. Some changes include Mr. Crawley's name was changed to Mr. Crawford in the movie, and also some of Alex's gadgets were also changed. Nonetheless, the film was still very good and was a positive reflection on the book, much like The Hunger Games did. This is why Stormbreaker has a very good movie, and why I should replace Brave New World as the grade 11 novel. High school teachers have been looking at the wrong book all these years, torturing their students with novels that they don't enjoy, like Brave New World. But wouldn't it be better if one could read a book that has a more interesting plot, has better characters, is a lot easier to understand, and has an amazing movie? Maybe like Stormbreaker? This would help students learn in the long run. It would help them write better essays. Students would understand the novel. In essence, it would help create stronger, more confident English students, and that is always a good thing.